Honorable Piyush Goyal ji, Indian Minister for Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Textiles. We have His Excellency Mr. Dan Tehan, MP, Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, Government of Australia. We have Secretary Department of Tourism here with us. We have Excellency High Commissioner of Australia, Mr. Barry Farrell, with us. Thank you for joining us on the stage. We are at the cusp of historic association partnership, friends. India and Australia, the two great democracies, are proudly marching towards a great future. Relentless, deep engagement has been taking place between the two ministers. Without wasting much time, may I request Sir to give an opening address, and I request our guests from Australia to speak as well. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Narayan. Friends from the media, I am truly delighted that my good friend, His Excellency Mr. Dan Tehan, the Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, has taken the time to come to Delhi for the second time. In the very recent past, he had a visit to India in which we had launched our comprehensive economic partnership agreement negotiations, and I'm grateful that he has traveled to India for this near conclusion of our discussions around the free trade agreements interim portion, the early harvest part, which we had announced the last time he was here. We have had very fruitful discussions, made significant progress, and my own understanding is that Australia and India are not only natural partners in terms of the strong bonds between our leaders, between our governments, between our people, but we complement each other when it comes to trading, working together on goods, services, in a variety of ways. I believe this is a partnership between two brothers. It is all the more evident when you see that the Honorable Foreign Minister is currently in Melbourne as a part of the Quad engagement where the United States, Japan, Australia and India, all the foreign ministers are meeting in Melbourne, while Minister Tehan and I are working to finalize our comprehensive economic partnership. I am delighted to share with you that the discussions took place in a very, very informal manner, a very friendly manner, with a great deal of openness, a great deal of concern for the sensitivities on both sides to specific areas where Australia may have sensitivities or India may have sensitivities. We have accommodated each other, respected each other's sensitivities, and today, after very, very grueling sessions over the last 48 hours and before that, I feel empowered to be able to share with you that our teams should be in a position to come up with the interim agreement, the early harvest part of the final comprehensive economic partnership in the next 30 days. That's the target we have set for our teams. We've covered a large number of areas in the discussions over the last few months and between yesterday and today, whether it's goods, services, rules of origin, sanitary and phytosanitary measures, custom procedures, legal and institutional issues, and a lot of the text is also being simultaneously finalized. A lot of work is going on through our teams to further fine-tune the final document, which will open huge opportunities for the people and businesses in both countries. we have both also reaffirmed our commitment to deepen this engagement and conclude the final comprehensive economic partnership maybe in the next 12 months or so after the interim agreement is operationalized. This is truly a watershed moment in the India-Australia bilateral relationship, and I would like to thank Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Morrison for their leadership and their guidance and support in our efforts to make this happen. In fact, the relationships between the two leaders has helped us smoothen the edges on a number of subjects. Our officials also deserve compliments for the very hard work they've put in, particularly considering the different time zones. There were occasions where either the Australians are working until late in the night to work with the Indian sides based on our times, or vice versa. So it's really been one of a great deal of an engagement, which is like a partnership of a unique kind. I have personally been involved in many negotiations, but this particular negotiation I will remember always as an absolutely friendly engagement, just like the people of Australia are well known for their friendly temperament and behavior. In fact, to give credit to my good friend Minister Tehan, we have transcended from diplomacy to openness, and that itself has been the defining feature of this negotiation. I've of course played straight like Sachin Tendulkar. My drives are always straight drives. Dan is smarter, so he keeps swinging the ball like Glenn McGrath probably. But end of the day, the master batsman and the master spinner, I hope, will both work together so that we have a draw, a win-win for both the countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to only conclude by saying that India and Australia are not only linked by the great Indian Ocean, but we are connected by history, our shared interests in global peace, in a transparent world order, the prevalence of rule of law in the way businesses are conducted, and therefore there's a lot of geopolitical angle and interest also in this partnership that we have got into. Of course, every free trade agreement always concludes with the Dil Chahta Hai More moment. And if any of you have seen the movie Dil Chahta Hai, shot largely in Australia, you will appreciate that the Dil Chahta Hai moment today was also covered and had the icing of the tourism MOU that we have both executed today. I think I must thank and acknowledge the Tourism Ministry led by Mr. Kishan Reddy, the Honorable Minister, Mr. Arvind Singh, the Secretary, Tourism Secretary, and the officials from Dan's side. He's of course also the Tourism Minister, but his officials and Arvind have put in a lot of effort. Thank you very much. We'll continue to ask for more. We'll continue to demand more of each other. And I think that's what friendships are all about. So thank you once again, Dan, for your visit. I'm sure the bilateral trade, which is currently at about $20 billion, is going to see a quantum leap after this agreement. Several new areas will open up for both countries. Several areas where we complement each other, where we supplement each other's efforts to provide more jobs, provide new business opportunities, provide a better life for the people of our respective countries, opening up new education opportunities, new partnerships on the work front. So truly win-win partnership between Australia and India. My good friend Mr. Tehan is going to be returning back tomorrow to Australia. He's not yet had a chance to have a glimpse of the incredible Taj Mahal, but as Tourism Minister of Australia and as my good friend, I would like to invite you in your next visit to certainly keep some time so that we can take you to show you some of the wonderful places in India, including Kevadia, which was the backdrop of our signing the world's tallest statue in the Honorable Prime Minister's home state, which is not just a tribute to the Iron Man of India, but truly is becoming a huge tourism ecosystem today. So we'd like to welcome you to India soon, and would like to invite every Australian to come and experience incredible India. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you, sir. Now may I request Honorable Dan Tehan, MP, Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, Government of Australia. Sir, you may kindly address it.
Well, thank you, Minister Goyal, and can I also acknowledge our High Commissioner here in India, Barry O'Farrell, for the outstanding work that you do. Now, Piyush, I'm going to start with tourism and the MOU that we've just signed, and I'm going to do something which most ministers shouldn't do, but I'm going to give it a go, and I might need you to help me, because we have just signed a tourism MOU, but also in Australia we have just announced that as of the 21st of February that Australia is open to all international tourists. So I'm going to practice some Hindi right now. So here goes. Australia आइए, आपका स्वागत है.
Excellent. I think that was just perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely perfect.
Very good. So we are open, we welcome you, and we want all of you to come and visit us in Australia. And the wonderful thing about the MOU we've just signed is we will also start seeing many, many more Australians come to India to see the wonderful attractions that you have here. I'll never forget coming here as a 16-year-old boy and spending 5 weeks travelling around India. It left a lasting impression on me, and I know that for any Australian who comes to India, they have a likewise experience. And I think we're just going to see the tourism flows between our two countries continue to grow. And I think what will help in that regard also is the education relationship that we're looking to develop between our two nations. As part of the discussions that we've been having on our CECA or Free Trade Agreement, we've been looking at how we can build the cooperation when it comes to education. And we're looking at the mutual recognition of qualifications between Australia and India, so that students could do a year of study in Australia and a year of study in India, or vice versa. And what this will lead to is, with greater students travelling between our two countries, it means that friends and family and relatives will follow in those footsteps, which will also help build the tourism relationship and the education relationship. So they're the types of things that we're looking to enhance as part of these discussions of a free trade agreement. Piyush mentioned how the discussions have been done in an incredibly friendly way. Suggested he's like Sachin Tendulkar with a very straight bat, and I'm like Glenn McGrath swinging the ball. But it is also going to be a very modern agreement. So Piyush has also been a bit like Virat Kohli, and I hope that I've been a bit like Pat Cummins as well in swinging the ball, so that we not only have an agreement where we're looking at traditional goods and services, but also where our economies will grow in the future. Because what this agreement will do is set our economies up for the future, so both economies continue to integrate and continue to grow together. And we cannot underestimate the importance of our two economies growing together into the future. We have great geostrategic uncertainty at the moment. And Piyush mentioned the very important Quad Foreign Ministers meeting, which is taking place in my home state at the moment in Victoria. What that means is that India and Australia in particular have to look at ways that we can further integrate our economy, and that's what we've been doing. And can I thank our teams for the effort that they've put in over the last few months as we continue to evolve this agreement. And Piyush, can I thank you? The warmth of the welcome that you have given me, not only when I came last time, but this time, is quite extraordinary. And what it enables us to do is sit down and negotiate in good faith. Negotiating these agreements is not easy, and I've just done one with the United Kingdom, and you're currently embarking on that. It requires building a relationship between the two ministers, which means you can have very frank discussions. You can be honest with each other, and that's what we've been able to do. And I thank you for that, because it's that good faith which means that we have strong confidence that in 30 days that we will be able to reach an interim agreement which will set up the negotiations for a final seeker in the next 12 to 18 months. But the interim agreement will be a significant one. It will be a milestone in the relationship between our two countries. It's been something we've been striving for nearly 8 years now, and we are on the verge of doing something historic. And the only reason we're on the verge of doing that is because of the warmth of the relationship we've been able to develop and the trust that we've been able to put in those relationships. Still more work to be done. We've got a busy 30 days. We've got to finalise text, finalise the negotiations, legally scrub and sign. So busy 30 days. But the warmth of the welcome again, I'm very, very confident that we will be able to achieve that. And we've worked very hard over the last 2 days. And I look forward to hopping on the plane and going back and telling my Prime Minister that we have made, again, substantial progress. So once again to our teams, thank you. To everyone who's come here this afternoon, thank you. And I'll finish where I started. Remember, Australia is open again, and we warmly welcome all of you back to our shores. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll be taking some questions in the limited time that we have. We have received some questions. We'll take in that priority. First question, number 94. We'll ask you, Meghna. Yeah. Introduce yourself also. Yeah. Mike, please. Yeah. Second could be NI.
I'm Meghna Mittal from Newsrise. Since you said that we are at the near conclusion of the interim agreement and we have set a very specific deadline of 30 days, I wanted to know what are the kind of tariff lines that we are looking at covering in the interim agreement, and will Australian wine as well be a part of that interim agreement?
Well, you're a business journalist. You do know that these things are not announced in advance. These are all comprehensive agreements. There's a lot of interlinkages. We'll announce it when the final agreement, the interim final agreement is given out. But I can only add to what Minister Tehan said. It's a very vast array of subjects that are being covered, which will be in the interests of both countries.
Thank you. I think this was a question by many journalists.
So can I just add to what Piyush has said? One of the important aspects of negotiations like these is that you can negotiate in private, when you work through these issues, and then announce it. If you announce bit by bit, then you can never build the trust and the confidence to get a comprehensive package. So the way these negotiations are done is you work together to get a package which works in the interests of both sides. But if you announce bits and pieces as you go along, it would all unravel in a matter of time. So We've had very good discussions. They continue. They've been done in good faith. And in 30 days, you will know a lot more.
Thank you. The next is ANI. Yeah, please.
सर मैं शैलेश यादव हूँ ANI न्यूज़ एजेंसी से। मेरा सवाल है सर कि अब भारत और ऑस्ट्रेलिया का जो ये 360 डिग्री संबंध जुड़ रहा है, इसमें जो है क्वाड का कितना संबंध है?
क्वाड विशेषकर जियोपॉलिटिकल इश्यूज या डिप्लोमेसी के आधार पर निर्धारित है और उसमें खास तौर पे हमारे विदेश मंत्री और रक्षा मंत्री का ज्यादा बड़ा रोल है। लेकिन क्वाड से जो नजदीकियां बढ़ी हैं, जो नजदीक आए हैं चारों देश, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, जापान, ऑस्ट्रेलिया और इंडिया, उससे स्वाभाविक रूप से प्रभाव पड़ा है कि हम वाणिज्य में भी और नजदीक आए। और मुझे लगता है कि दोनों माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री स्कॉट मॉरिसन जी का दोनों का जो संबंध इतना नजदीकी बना है और ये संबंध पिछले 8 सालों में बेहतर ही होते जा रहे हैं। जैसे मुझे याद है आज से 7.5 साल पहले या 7 साल पहले पहली बार हमारी सरकार 2014 में आई, उसके बाद जब पहली बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया के उस वक्त के प्रधानमंत्री श्री टोनी एबट भारत आए थे, तो संजोग है कि मैं उनका मिनिस्टर इन वेटिंग था और मैंने उनको दिल्ली हवाई अड्डे पे रिसीव किया था। और प्लेन से उतरते ही एक ऐसी आत्मीयता और दोस्ती का संबंध बना कि मतलब एक प्रधानमंत्री देश का मैं तो MOS था, मुझे कहते हैं कि कॉल मी टोनी, एंड शाम तक या रात तक तो मुझे मोबाइल नंबर दे दिया था कि आप हम संबंध में रहेंगे। और अब संजोग ऐसा है कि 8 साल बाद 2022 में ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने मिस्टर टोनी एबट को स्पेशल एनवॉय बनाया है। भारत और ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बीच में वाणिज्य, ट्रेड, टूरिज्म, इन सब क्षेत्रों में कैसे और नजदीकी लाना, उसके लिए उनको ऑस्ट्रेलियन सरकार ने स्पेशल एनवॉय बनाया है। वो स्वयं शायद 2 या 3 बार भारत आए, हमारे कई मंत्रियों को मिले, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से भी चर्चा की और एक प्रकार से ये निरंतर 8 वर्षों का प्रयास है जो अब फल दे रहा है। I just mentioned about my being minister in waiting for Tony Abbott 8 years ago,
Yes.
and how the wheel turns a full circle so that he becomes the special trade envoy for you now.
Sir, his question was this thing: what is the role of Quad in this 360 relationship, and how trade partnership is impacting? So, sir was answering this.
Yes.
Precisely. Yeah.
If you want
Thank
to
you.
supplement anything about the Quad in this relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Quad has just added to the strength of the relationship, and I think what we'll see is it will continue to develop and grow and enhance the relationship, not only between Australia and India, but of all countries of the Quad. And, you know, down the track, we have free trade agreements with the United States. We have one with Japan. My hope is in 30 days we will have an announcement with India, and then we can start to build the economic cooperation and framework also within the countries of the Quad. So it's a special and unique relationship. And one of the things that Piyush mentioned was that what he's found is Australians are very friendly. Well, can I tell you, what I've found is that Indians are incredibly friendly. Every time I've been here, the welcome has been extraordinary. And I think what we're going to see is the same happen with the way we work with Japan, we work with the US, because also these are very liberal, open democracies, warmly welcoming of people. So I think we're just going to see the relationship continue to grow and grow.
Thank you. Bloomberg, Sudhir, would you like to have any further question? Because thank you. The next question would be from Ravi Datta, Mint. Yeah. Mint.
Hello. Hello. I know, sir, you mentioned that these announcements can't be made in a segmented fashion, but I'll still ask, was dairy a part of the early harvest discussions?
Well, the answer would be the same, that all of these things will be worked out as a package, but I would only like to share with you what I think I said earlier also, that both sides have been very, very fair and understanding about the sensitivities that each side has about certain issues. Australia has certain sensitivities, India has certain sensitivities, and the good part of this friendship is that we have respected each other's sensitivities, and the agreement is an agreement which is only a win-win with absolutely no negatives for both sides and both countries. So it's a win-win agreement which will satisfy the interests of people and businesses on both sides. The rest you can conclude yourself.
And I'm happy to reinforce that. And I've said in Australia very publicly that we understand the sensitivities that India has when it comes to dairy, when it comes to beef, and when it comes to wheat.
The last question, Vion. Yeah.
So Hi, Sam Siddhant from Beyond. My question to you is regarding the RCEP. Australia is part of the RCEP. We know that China is also part of the RCEP. India chose not to be part of it. Now, we know that China has been weaponizing trade. What's your view about the RCEP trade pact and also Indian decision now, if you look at the hindsight? And to you, Piyush Goyal, sir, is about further conversations on FTA with other countries.
So obviously I'll leave the discussion about what India did or didn't do with RCEP to Minister Goyal because that's his affairs. And one of the things that I've learned very quickly as a diplomat, when I trained and was a diplomat before I became Minister for Trade, is you let other countries talk about their affairs, you talk about your own. So I'll let him talk about that. In terms of our experience, whether it be with RCEP, whether it be with the CPTPP, whether it be with other regional agreements that we have, Australia believes strongly that we should set rules when it comes to trade. And we're very happy to enter into agreements where rules are set. We think it's absolutely important. But what we also want to see is that those rules are not only entered into, but they're adhered to in spirit and in the law. And that is something that we want to work with all countries on to ensure that is what happens. Now, at the moment, when it comes to China, we have some current disputes that we have with them, including one with regards to wine and one with regards to barley, where we're currently taking them to the World Trade Organisation. And the reason we're doing that is because we would like them to uphold the rules that they've entered into with us in their bilateral relationship. And we will see what happens with that. But what we want to see with any agreement that we enter into is that the spirit of the agreement and the letter of the agreement is followed.
Well, we are having very good discussions with the UAE, which are at an advanced stage, and we hope to make some announcements very quickly on the UAE free trade agreement. We have already had a very successful round with the United Kingdom earlier, about a couple of weeks ago. The next round of discussions are slated for March, and we are making good progress with the UAE, with the UK also. And we've kept a timeline of, I think, June, by when we should be able to look at an interim agreement with the United Kingdom. The discussions with Canada for a comprehensive economic partnership are also progressing. The Honourable Minister, Ms. Mary Ng, has indicated that she would be visiting India in March. We are finalizing the dates. And at that time, we may consider engaging also for an interim agreement with Canada so that the low-hanging fruits and the benefits of this relationship can be kick-started faster. We already are in discussion with Israel and the European Union for comprehensive economic partnerships. The GCC group of countries So other than UAE, there are 5 others in that group. The entire GCC bloc has also met me some time back, and we have a joint committee, joint group which is working on scoping the contours of a free trade agreement between the GCC countries and India. And maybe another month or so we should be in a position to launch, maybe even faster than that. We may be in a position to launch discussions with the GCC countries. So good progress being made on several international arrangements and agreements, which I hope will further help us to grow the fabulous performance that our exporters have done this year. As you're all aware, until January, we were already at $336 billion, which is the highest ever export India has ever done in a full 12-month year. So in 10 months, we have already exceeded our highest ever. We are well on track on exceeding our target of $400 billion. The first week of February saw exports upward of $8.5 billion. So I leave the rest for you to calculate. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That culminates our press conference. Sirinjo, sorry, I'm sorry, Sirinjo. Yeah, sorry.
Times now will bash me up.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, first of all. Mr. Tehan, you spoke about great geopolitical uncertainty. You also heard what the Chinese have said today regarding the Quad. Now, when you said great geopolitical uncertainty, keeping in mind what has come from Beijing today, would you like to elaborate a little bit on what you meant?
Well, what I meant was that at this time, the rules-based order, it has never been more important for us to defend it and to make sure all countries adhere to it. And that is why those countries who have all benefited from that international rules-based order must continue to ensure that it is upheld. And that's why it's so important that India, Australia, the United States and Japan's foreign ministers are meeting at this time to make sure that they reiterate how important that international rules-based order is and how important it is that all countries adhere to it. Because what we're seeing is some countries, I think, looking to change the way that international rules-based order works. And that presents challenges and uncertainty for the world at this moment. And I don't think it's in anybody's interest. Since the Second World War, we have benefited, all countries, very strongly from the international rules-based order. And what we all want to see is that continue. And I think that's why the Quad partnership is so important.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Still. Still, please. Sir.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. Thank you. We'll be sending the release very soon.